Do you think job creation will be a thrust area for the budget 2017?
Absolutely, I don't see any other way, because both politically and otherwise, from the economics point of view, it's very, very important that the country accelerates the job creation. See, the jobs are getting created even now. It's not that they're not getting created, but 90% of the new job creation is happening in the informal and unorganized sector. So, which is very, very different in this country vis-a-vis most countries in the world. So I think how do we transition more and more jobs from informal and unorganized sector to formal and organized sector? I think that's going to be the challenge. And of course, while service sector jobs are getting added in large numbers, but it's very important that manufacturing job creation also happens, which is directly dependent on the kind of investments you are able to solicit in the country, both domestically as well as in the form of FDI. But let us be very, very clear in the manufacturing sector. The newer increments, newer investments which are coming into the country, they are capital intensive. They are not labor intensive at all. The technologies are being used like robotics and artificial intelligence and so on and so forth. So I think they are not going to create those kind of jobs. But in the MSME sector in manufacturing, a lot of jobs could be created, and that is where I expect government to incentivize job creation in the manufacturing sector, in the MSME sector.
So there is a wide gap between the demand and availability of skilled employees. So how can we bridge this gap?
I think the Skill India mission is the largest human resource development exercise any country has ever attempted in the history of mankind. So the scale is a challenge. The kind of input that we get is a challenge. That how do you work, not only in terms of imparting domain skills, but also employability skills. So that's a challenge. We are doing it, and no matter how much we do, the more we do, the more seems to remain to be done. But I think more importantly, one has to look at the new generation economy, the kind of jobs which are required. Let's look at the auto manufacturing area, right? Today, we need more skills in manufacturing of automobile, which uses electricity, which uses CNG, which uses fossil biofuels instead of fossil fuels. I think those things are very, very important. New generation investments have to come in. Look at IT, for example. The new technologies are going to be all digital. You'll need cloud computing, mobile computing, social media, big data analytics. I think these are going to be the big bubbles where more and more skills creation has to happen. So any sector you look at, electricity, power, utilities, power generation, if you look at, the newer investments, more and more investments will come in the non-conventional sources like solar, like wind energy, and so on and so forth. So we have to look at a lot of green jobs that will get created. Even construction, which is supposed to be the largest sector in terms of job creation, like going forward, there'll be more thrust on green construction, ecologically friendly construction. So I think those kind of skills we need to create in the country, uh, at a breathtaking speed. Even in heavy engineering, if you look at heavy industry, if you look at a lot of focus will be on robotics in years to come, on 3D printing, on analytics, on artificial intelligence. A lot of changes will happen, and therefore we as a country have to gear up for that.
So in 2016, was NSDC able to guarantee jobs to the skilled employees, and what is the roadmap ahead for the year 2017?
See, we don't guarantee jobs, but what we do, out of our loan portfolio, we give soft loans to people who want to set up investment in the training space. And there we mandate that 70% of the people that you're able to train should either get a wage employment or they should have a self-employment kind of a thing. So we are going to continue with that focus on whatever is the assisted sector through the NSDC loans, whatever infrastructure you create, 70% of the people have to have either wage employment or self-employment. That focus would continue.
So what, according to you, is India's vision for the year 2017 in creating jobs for skilled people?
See, I think we have to look at on three fronts. One is that we have to give we have to carry on our fillip of service sector jobs. If you look at new banking licenses have been given, logistics is going to be a huge area where a lot of the job creation will happen. So I think IT will continue to grow. Of course, some people say that the growth will slow down, but I don't see any major threat in the coming financial year. So I think focus on service sector has to continue. Manufacturing, as I said, large units will not create that kind of incremental employment, but MSME sector needs to be encouraged. I would even go to an extent that for the MSME sector, can we look at reimbursing as an incentive to the MSME units the incremental jobs that they're able to create, and reimbursing all the payouts that they have in the form of PF contribution or gratuity and things like that, so that they don't find it as a burden. So more jobs will get created, plus more and more jobs will transition from informal and unorganized to formal and organized. So I think these are important things for the manufacturing sector. And for the agriculture sector, I know for certain that you can't have a situation where 51% of our population thrives on agriculture, which contributes only 17% to the GDP. So more and more agro jobs have to, people into agricultural jobs have to move away from agriculture if they have to improve their earnings and per capita income of the country.
And so there were a lot of talks in creation of jobs, especially in the travel and tourism sector, but nothing seems to be happen. So what do you think is the future of the sector?
I think India is a gold mine of opportunities when it comes to tourism. I fundamentally believe, you look at every sector. There are not too many countries in the world which have mountains, which have deserts, which have a seashore. You have everything. You have religious tourism. You have so much of history. Several thousand of years of history. Which you can experience by coming to India. And even culture, the poetry, the food, the handicrafts, huge amount of tourism opportunities can be created within the country. And we have to, I think, for the past several decades, we have not taken up tourism seriously. I think that's very, very important. While we have done some good branding, but except maybe Kerala and Goa and these smaller states, we as a country, we have to go a long way beyond the golden trapezium of Delhi, Jaipur, and Agra. I think we have to go beyond that.